The trail begins in a quiet town in eastern South Dakota, and then the ground simply opens. A crack in the rock, barely wider than a room, drops away into shadow. Pink and purple stone, hard as glass, cold air rising out of it. Late November, the trees bare, a creek running somewhere down below. This narrow chasm is called Devils Gulch, and almost everything people tell you about it is a story about one man on a horse. Almost. We are in Garretson, South Dakota, a small town in Minnehaha County about 20 miles northeast of Sioux Falls, close to the Minnesota line. Split Rock Creek runs through it, and the creek is the reason the town is here at all. Garretson was laid out in 1889, where two rail lines were made to meet, and it took its name from A.S. Garretson, a Sioux City investor who wanted that junction on his land. The gulch was already ancient. Start with the rock because the rock was here first. Roughly 1.5 to 1.75 billion years ago, long before anything at all lived on land, braided rivers ran across this part of the continent and dumped sand, layer upon layer, thousands of feet deep. Geologists still read those old currents in the stone. You can see the bedding, the ripple marks, the direction the water was flowing. It is the oldest thing you will touch today. Then the sand was buried and squeezed. Heat and pressure welded every grain to its neighbors until the sandstone became quartzite, one of the hardest rocks on Earth. Iron oxide tinted it pink, red, and purple. Geologists call it the Sioux Quartzite, and it surfaces across corners of South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska. It is tough enough that quarriers cut it for bridges and courthouse walls, and tough enough that water has spent millions of years failing to wear it down. The gulch itself is water finding weakness. Split Rock Creek, swollen at times by meltwater from retreating ice, worked its way into the fractures in the quartzite and cut downward instead of outward because the rock would not let it spread. The result is what we are standing over, a chasm you could very nearly step across, walls falling away perhaps 50 to 70 feet, cold and green and narrow. The creek carries on to join the Big Sioux River. This is Dakota Homeland, part of the wider Osti-Sakowin, and Dakota people are here still, in the present tense. The Yankton Treaty of 1858 transferred roughly 11 million acres of eastern South Dakota to the United States, and the settlers who platted Garretson arrived on the far side of that transfer. Not far east at Pipestone, a soft red stone lies inside this same ancient quartzite. It is quarried for pipes to this day, by native hands only. Now the story everyone comes here for. On the 7th of September 1876, 8 men rode into Northfield, Minnesota to rob the First National Bank. The raid collapsed. The acting cashier, Joseph Lee Haywood, refused to open the vault and was murdered for it. Townspeople took up rifles. Within 2 weeks, the younger brothers had been captured, and Charlie Pitts was dead near Madelia. Only Frank and Jesse James got clear, riding west with hundreds of pursuers behind them. They did reach Dakota territory, and the legend says that Jesse James came to this very gulch with a posse closing in, spurred his horse, and cleared the gap. It is a wonderful story. It is also most likely only a story. No account from 1876 mentions it. The tale surfaced in the newspapers of the 1920s when a Sioux Falls newspaperman walked reporters to a likely-looking spot. The historian Wayne Fainbust puts it plainly: it did not happen. What is real is the rock and the bridge and the quiet. The Daughters of the American Revolution placed a log cabin here in 1991, and a steel span now crosses the gap, so anyone can stand exactly where the legend stands and look down. Late November strips the oaks and lets the light fall into the chasm, and the old stone glows a dull rose. The truth here is older and stranger than any outlaw. Thank you for watching. Follow for more trails of the world.